Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to part 2. Well, this is your first time at part 2. If you saw part 1 of this unboxing and valuations of mostly lamp stuff, antique lamps and electronics gear, in part 1, and I'll put the link below and maybe a card up there, we went through the lamps. There was pressure lamps, there was old oil lamps, and we've got to work out a price for this guy who's dropped all this stuff off. So we went through and valued those at what I think I would try and retail them for through the shop. This is part 2, and we've got some boxes just here and a bit of old fishing gear, and there's some really interesting looking stuff in that. So in this part we will go through these boxes, we'll work out what sort of value we've got, we'll see what I think I can retail it at, and we'll get a total at the end of this video. And then part 3 we will look at the electronics. There's some over on the table over there, and we'll do the same with that. We'll test it, see if it works, we'll see what value we think we can get for it, and then after the 3 parts, at the end of that one, we will do a few calculations and work out what we're going to actually pay this guy that's been nice enough to bring this stuff into me. And initially I'd said you've got at least $300 worth when it was just out the front. Now that we're going through it, well, the lamps turned out to be better than I think we all thought. Who knows what's in these boxes here? Without any further ado, let's jump in and see what we can find. Okay, let's start with this big bulky stuff that I keep tripping over every time I walk down the hallway. The guy's probably going to ring me in a few days, so I need to get all this organised and work out a price for him. This is an aluminium, fairly modern, large tripod. It looks like it's got some issues. Usually the plastic on these goes brittle with age. So two of those adjustable clamps are broken. I don't think this is even worth selling. I think that'll probably go in the aluminium scrap pile. We may be able to put it in the shop for $5 or something, but look, I'm not going to value this one at all. That can just go to one side, and hopefully I don't trip over it there. Now we have some skis, made in Norway. I guess they're snow skis. They're very thin. I don't know, I've never been snow skiing. Whoops. Oh, and they're the stocks for them. So I guess it must be snow skiing, because to the best of my knowledge you don't use these stocks when you're on water skis. And it looks like they're broken and they're pretty rough. So look, they might even be freebies. I don't know about these skis, honestly. It looks like the shoe clamps are not even complete. I don't know. It's an area I know absolutely very little about. I may just check the brand of these on eBay to see if they are sought after. We'll put them aside for now. We'll do a list at the end and I'll point those out if they're worth anything. Lastly, in this big long pile of trippable stuff, we have a nice old fishing rod with a Bakelite Alpha reel. The rod looks like it's a Jarvis Walker. It's a well-known brand. I think they're Australian. It looks like it's a fiberglass rod. It looks quite okay. That's going to be saleable. The reel itself, the Alpha reel, would get $10 to $15. We might put 20 on that. We'll check that out first before we write down a figure. Now there's another fishing rod here with no reel on it. It's a Jarvis Walker, a vintage one. It looks like a River King. It's fiberglass. I believe these are collectible, and this reel does look quite good. Rod does look quite good. So I'll do a bit of checking on that as well. But off the top of my head, it might be a $15 to $20 rod. And there's another Jarvis Walker by the tag here in a bag, and it looks like to be a big one. It's the longer than the other two, and it looks like it's in half, so it might be like a surf rod. We'll get that out and have a look in a minute. And then we'll go through this box, and there's a massive big pressure blowtorch here, which is going to be of pretty good value. We'll go through that in a tick, and then we'll get into this one that has my interest. Okay, I'll put this rod together. It nearly goes the full length of my room here. It's about 12 feet long, and it is a Jarvis Walker Kilcunda, I think I worked that out to be. So these things sell quite well. I have done a bit of checking on eBay, and we will get reasonable return on those. So I'll list the prices of those at the end. Let's get into this box here. So this is a very large blowtorch. We normally don't get them this large. It's a super big size. Polished up, they can bring really good money. It's a lot of work to do that, of course. I'm just going to price things as they are, and I'm not going to go to the trouble of pricing this one at all. I think it's a Swedish-made one. We will check eBay prices on those, but I think that's probably going to retail around 150, somewhere around that mark. Maybe 100 because it's a bit rusty, but we'll fine-tune that price as we go along. This is a little, probably a Riga sprayer. It is a Riga. It's got the original sticker on it. These pump sprayers turn up all the time, and they sell okay, but they need to be cheap. So that's only a $10 seller there. We have a fishing reel here, a Roddy. I might even put that on one of the Jarvis Walker rods. I think that's only a $10 reel. It's quite a bit of corrosion. I'm not going to clean it up or anything, but yep, we'll probably just put 10 on that one. And a couple of tins here. We have an Ampol oil tin. It's got a bit of paint on it. It's not in the best condition. It may clean up better. Someone's painted over the top of something there. There's no lid on it, so it's a bit rusty. It's pretty rough, but this sort of stuff does sell very well. It may clean up a lot better than that with the right care. That's probably the best side. I think that's going to be probably a $20 to $30 tin as it is. So that's not so bad. Ampol's a good, nice brand, and they're very sought after. In good nick, that would make a lot of money, but I think that's probably only a $30 tin. And the last one in this box is, it's a shame this isn't in better condition. It's an Atom mixing can, BP. It's probably 1960s. Now, Atom made chainsaws in Australia, so it would have been probably sold with or given in with a new chainsaw in the 60s, I'd say. That one's not a bad side. I think that's going to be a very good tin. I might have to check eBay on that. It might be a good one to throw on eBay. You don't see Atom ones around very often. It's a shame it's a bit scuffed there, but it's still got pretty good colour. But I think that one might be worth trying on eBay. That could be a good one. Now, I'll have to work out a price to offer for this. I'm going to pull a figure out of the air of $30 because it's rough. So we'll work on that as far as buying. And if I run it through eBay, we might have a nice little surprise, or it might only get our 30. If we don't get a bid for 30, I'll leave it in the shop. Okay, so that's finished that box. I'll do a list of prices. In fact, we might do that now on this box and the fishing rods. So here's the prices I worked out for that lot. The snow skis, I've only put 30. I did find some on eBay that sold for around 100. Apparently they were 1980s era cross-country skis, and some of them did sell, but I'm not going to hang out for top dollar. I don't want them in the shop for too long. We'll just try 30, see how we go. The fishing rods, I upped the price a little bit. 30, that was the one with the Bakelite reel. 20 for the other one, and the big long one I put 40 on. I think though I could get a lot more, but again, I don't want them hanging around the shop for too long. The Riga sprayer, we said 10. The Ampol tin, we said 30. The large blowtorch, I think I'm going to try 100. I don't want it. I mean, I could price that up, but it runs the risk then of sitting in the shop for a long, long time. I guess I could always try higher and then come down a bit, but I valued it at 100 in its current condition. The Atom Fuel tin, I'm going to value it at 30. I think I might run it through eBay and we might get a nice surprise, but it is pretty rough. And I didn't include the Roddy reel, that little fishing reel, because it felt like there was something wrong in the gearbox. I tried to wind it and it wasn't working, so no value there. So we ended up with $290 potential retail out of the long stuff that I kept tripping over and that first box. So let's now get into the other box and we'll see what value we've got in there. Now, I'm sure I'm going to have to do some research on this stuff. I have not pulled anything out, so let's go. Now, this Carter's price guide is 2002. These used to be quite valuable, and this is only the small size, but I don't think there's much value in these anymore. I'm just going to put that on our free book exchange. No value there. All right, bottles I do know a little bit about. This is a 1940s or 50s wide mouth milk bottle. I think it's a Melbourne company. Some of them can get pretty good money. I'd have to check that one. Yeah, Northcote is a suburb of Melbourne. It's in good condition. It's going to be at least $30. I will check just to see if it's a rare one. Right, now, this electronic stuff. Where will we start? This one. I see Bakelite. I like Bakelite. This is a... you'll have to bear with me while I work these things out. A series resistance. So it may be some sort of test equipment, and it might apply some resistance to some sort of line, like a telephone line or something. I'm not sure. I haven't seen one before. It's a nice Bakelite case. It's got a leather strap handle. I will have to do some checking on that. I would only be totally guessing at a price, so we won't. Let's do some checking. Now this one here has a leather handle again. It's quite heavy. It's another Bakelite piece of test equipment by the look of it. Is that a lid? It looks like it's some sort of resistance thing again. It looks like they open, but I'm not sure how. I might have to try that with two hands. 10 volts DC. It's clearly some sort of test equipment. Let me put it down on the floor here. It's written on the bottom, nothing. All right, we certainly need to get into that. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's a meter. It's a voltmeter. Beautiful old meter. So that's a really nice piece. Vintage Bakelite electrical stuff really has quite a nice following. It's a little bit steampunk with the old meters. It looks like that one would probably still be usable. The needle's free. A DC voltmeter, I would guess that that's probably going to be around about a $50 item, but I will check that one. That's pretty cool. Now this one, what's this? Looks like an old battery. It is, it's a dry cell battery. Portable batteries, general use, low internal resistance for output. I can't quite read the voltage there, maybe just 1.5 volts. It's clearly no good. It's starting to come apart. But, oh, here we go. What's on the back? What a great relic from the past, though, for anyone that likes electrical stuff. That's in maybe German. Okay, so that's purely just a decorative display item. It's got to be worth something. I'm not sure. Maybe $5 or $10. We have some timber boxes here. I'm not sure I can get that out just at the moment. We'll try this. It's a little transistor radio, a Sony. It's in a little vinyl case that doesn't appear to be very good. Oh, in fact, it's falling apart. But the radio itself might be quite good. We'll open that up in a minute and have a look. I don't know what this is. Number 92. It's English. It's some sort of metal canister with two... I don't know if it's electrical. Are they electrodes? What's it say on the top there? Can't really make much out there. I'm going to have to, clearly going to have to Google some of these. I have no idea what that is. Alright, next item. We have a leather, a vinyl case. I'll open that. It's HP. I'll open that in a second. It may be a calculator, perhaps. Oh, we have all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff in here. What's this one? There's a Melbourne agent for it. 180 amp dynamometer shunt. I don't really know. It may be incomplete. Something electrical and something probably incomplete. I've got a lot of Googling to do on this stuff. What on earth is this? Another shunt, it says, a portable shunt. It's probably quite specialised equipment, this. We need to clean that tag up a little bit. Okay, it's going to be really hard for me to put values on things that I don't even know what they are. Lovely old timber box. It's got holes all around it, so it must need a lot of airflow. Maybe it gets really hot. Really cool piece, great display piece. Just don't know what it is. More of these wooden boxes. This one, oh, we have another meter. This is an ammeter. It looks German, this one. Beautiful timber case. Geez, they made things well back then. That's a really nice piece. And it's designed to take a fair bit of current, up to 30 amps. I'm going to get fairly good dollars for these, and they'll look awesome in the shop. I'll have to do a fair bit of research though to get some prices. Is this another meter? Looks like it probably is. Maybe this is the matching voltmeter. And it's another ammeter. Isn't that fantastic? Another German ammeter. That goes up to 100 amps. Incredible. Alright, lovely pieces of old electrical equipment there. They'll make a fantastic display for someone. And what do we have here? A little mobile phone, pretend mobile phone keyring. That's not really fitting. And some large electrodes of some sort. These might go with the ammeter perhaps. I don't know. Honestly, no idea. Alright, I won't keep chatting to you with no knowledge at all on this stuff. I'll do a bit of checking and we'll do a price list and I'll show you what I've come up with after a bit of research. Okay guys, it's about a week later. I've been busy with a few other things and I've got to get back to finishing off this video. I've done a little bit of checking. I didn't want to waste too many hours researching, but I've found out what a few of the things are, or at least a slightly better understanding. Let's go through what we had. We've talked about the milk bottle. This is indeed some sort of resistance box. It's to do with testing and the shunts. From what I can work out, the shunts go with the ammeters, or they allow you to check the current on a circuit without having the full current going through your meter. So this is a type of shunt as well. I think that's incomplete. This is a resistance box, which I think would work as a shunt as well. Basically, it takes a lot of the current to allow the circuit to run whatever you're testing, and you can still get a current reading on your ammeter. Something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to get into too much detail. And really, as a second-hand dealer, I don't need to know how stuff works. I've just got to have a bit of an idea of value, and the people that buy it are going to have an understanding, or they're just going to say, hey, that's cool. We'll buy that and stick it on our, on our shelf for display. And that happens more often than not. So values, I wrote down a few values on some of these things. I think I put 65 on that because it's just such a nice piece of timber and lots of brass. I did polish the plate up there. I put 75 on the nice Bakelite meter, and I went for 95 on both of these because they're such beautiful old timber boxes. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it or not. I think I will. They look awesome in the shop. I think I put 20 on that one. I only put 10 on that because I think it's incomplete. The probes, I'm still not really sure what they're for. I'm just going to price them at $20 the pair. This was the little gem. It was a calculator in that it's actually a leather pouch. It's a HP calculator. Probably early 70s. It's got a red LED display, although it doesn't work at the moment. And unfortunately, there is a bit of battery corrosion in here, as you can see. But I did find some of these on eBay, and there was 3 or 4 that had sold, not working, just sold for parts, and they all made more than $50. And one of them I saw sold in working condition. It was a buy it now, so it's a bit hard to gauge from that, but it sold for $400. So obviously they're sought after. I valued that at $50 as it's not working at the moment. I might try and fix that up at some stage. The little Sony, this was a Sony transistor. The case has had it, and inside very bad corrosion. It's such a shame people leave batteries in these things. I think that's probably not worth fixing up. Certainly not worth paying anything for at this stage. So that's been through them all. Let's have a quick look at the notepad. So we had our stuff from earlier in this video. We've finally got back to this electronic stuff, or mostly test equipment. You can see the prices there, $485 for that box lot, a total of $775. Now this is potential retail at the prices I've come up with. We may not get that. In fact, it's quite likely we won't get all that, and I'll discuss that in the final episode of this series. So that will do for now. All we have to do is go through the electronics gear. Okay guys, so we'll just go through this vintage hi-fi gear in the next part, and that will wind up this series. It's been a bit of an interesting one, this one, and I don't know a lot about some of the stuff, but it's pretty cool, and it just goes to show that you don't need to be an expert in any particular area to be a dealer. If you buy right and sell right, you're going to make a good margin, and you pick up things on the way. It's all a learning curve, and it's all a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you've got a little bit out of how I run my business and how we can turn other people's trash into someone else's treasure. So look out for the next video. It will follow directly on, and we'll collate all our values of all the stuff out of this deal. We'll work out what we're going to give this guy, or at least what we're going to offer. There's still a chance he won't accept it. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.